right, think about this. If you had to go down in history with your name attached to one weird thing, what would it be? Davi has been chewing on this one.
Well, we were talking about it on Broadly Speaking, and we're doing something cool this week. We've only done it a few times before, so it's magical and amazing, and you should check it out. We're releasing a new episode every day this week. It's Bananas Pants.
That is their podcast. You can find that thing everywhere.
Everywhere. And we were having a discussion on Wednesday's episode about a phenomenon that I needed to know if it has got to Cassie. And then when we got to talking about this phenomenon, we realized it was named after a woman. We were like, what a crappy thing to have named after you. Literally crappy. And then we started talking about what would we have in our life that's a regular occurrence that can happen to other people, but that it gets named after us because we're the first ones to talk about it.
So you're not talking about an item like John Crapper. I mean, he's the dude that invented the toilet.
Sort of, but this isn't. So it wasn't an invention. So at least behind that man, he has some skill and some invention and genius attached to him. Like he helped America stop pooping on each other and stop giving each other the plague by having like E. coli in our homes. Like he invented a toilet. This is just a woman that was like, hey, does this ever happen to anybody? And then everybody was like, yeah, it happens to a lot of us. So they named it after her. So it's called the I almost said Marie Kondo. Cassie. Okay. It's called the Mariko Aoki phenomenon. And it's named after a Japanese woman. And it's an expression that is referring to the insatiable urge to defecate when you enter a bookstore.
What?
That's happens.
A thing?
Yes.
It happens to people all the time.
Yeah.
Just in the bookstore?
Wait, hold on. Is it because
They should call it Barnes and Nobles and Poops.
Okay.
Yes.
Is it
we got one.
Is it
Yes.
because you read on the toilet, so it's just like a Pavlov's dog thing? As soon as you see books and you think reading, you want to take a dog?
A lot of people questioned if it was the smell of books or the sight of books on account of the fact that they might have books in their restroom at home. But a lot of the people that they surveyed do not read books in the restroom. I mean, myself, that would mean by Pavlov's dog theory, every time I saw my iPhone, I would have to take a deuce.
Yeah.
You know, because I flip around on my iPhone. But and I grew up with magazines in our home next to the toilet. There was always magazines, and magazines have a very different smell and feel and texture. So nobody has been able to prove what exactly it is, but it affects a large part of the world. Is people that work at like a Borders or a Barnes and Noble, they're probably about to light up our phone lines and be like, oh my God, it's true. Our bathrooms always stink, because people will walk in and then they're just like, oh, I gotta poop. And then they go straight to they're like, it's insane how many people walk into a bookstore and they don't start looking for their fiction or their self-help right away. Although they might need some self-help for why they gotta go poopy every time they walk into a bookstore. But they go beeline for the bathroom. And people that work at bookstores are like, our toilets are constantly stinky because people always have to poop when they get here.
And that's as soon as they enter. So it's not like one of the bookstores that might have like a coffee shop and you have a cup of coffee and they're like, it hits you. You're saying as soon as you walk in.
That
Ask
you don't
Tommy.
know if it's sight or smell or anything. Yeah, Tommy, why does it happen to you?
I don't know.
Really?
Every time. And not only that, malls, which I haven't been to a mall and I can't remember when, but definitely bookstores I have been in. Every single time, walk through the doors. It's like you get, this is going to sound stupid,
It's
this
too late.
kind of butterfly feeling.
Like you get nervous?
No.
That you're
it's
going to have
not
to break
nervous.
out your reading skills?
I don't know. I don't know if it's love of books or what it is, but I get like this butterfly feeling, and I have to go to the bathroom.
So
It's
in
really
fascinating.
other areas that you love, do you poop also?
Just malls.
Just malls and bookstores.
So this
But
woman, for all of history, now has this effect named after her. So Davi and I are like, could you imagine telling Mom I'm famous, but this is what it's for?
Because I got to poop when I walk into a
Aoki.
bookstore.
So Davi and I came up with one for ourselves. This happens to both of us. We can't really go into detail because it's not super radio friendly, but let's just say it happens to women if you sit on the toilet for too long. Some
A
women.
lip goes numb.
Okay,
Your
well, there you
what?
go.
A
There you
lip
go.
goes numb.
What?
I can
Half-
honestly say, and I spend a good amount of time sitting on the toilet when I go. That's never happened to me.
Half of your coot goes numb.
What?
Yep.
How do you wake it up?
You just
You
gotta walk it
around
off.
all weird.
Hope you don't
You
get
gotta
pins and
shake your
needles in
leg
it.
out.
Damn. Liz, good morning. You're on the Bert Show.
Okay, so I have this, and it's bookstores and libraries.
Yes.
Okay, Tommy.
Libraries too.
I mean, we're finding out today.
It's a you thing, man.
It's pretty much everywhere with you.
No, it's the books in the library. But that's true.
That is the strangest phenomenon. So do you guys dig deep on this, and broadly speaking? Like, and find the history and bring more in?
We do. We try to talk about the science of it, and we go through the history. And yeah, it was unfortunately named after Mariko Aoki, and she wrote a magazine article in 1985 about it in Japan. And then it affected so many people, like it was so very relatable that, you know, now it's like being published, and everybody will now know that woman's name as whenever I have to deuce when I walk into a place with books.
That is crazy. Okay, Aaliyah. So if they're going to say, oh, yeah, I got to pull in Aaliyah, what is it for?
It's for, like, if I have to buy a Mother's Day card or any kind of birthday card, or back when we had CD stores and I would have to go shop for a CD. It happens to me, and I read that it's a chemical released in your brain when you walk into these kinds of stores.
Like serotonin or something? Like you're so happy, so it causes a rush?
I don't know, because it's very weird, but it does. It happens to me every time I have to.
I feel like this is the stuff that Fauci should be focusing on now. Because this
He
is
needs something else to
fascinating
do.
to me, yes. All right, where can people find your podcast?
It's on
Everywhere that
Apple.
podcasts are available.
Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.
And it's called Broadly Speaking.
For the record, you were half right.
Okay.
Sir John Harrington invented the toilet, and then Thomas Crapper invented the mechanism that we still use for the toilet.
Okay, that's half right. I knew there
You
was
just combined them.
I didn't want to disrespect the Crapper family, so I just wanted to make sure that they got their due right
No,
there.
you were disrespecting the Harrington family, who actually, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Get
that
it
doesn't sound
right.
like I got to take a Harrington. It's just not the same.
That's fair.
The Bert Show.
Hey, do you like what you just watched? Because you can get more Bert Show for free. We drop new podcast every weekday, and you can find us anywhere. Spotify, Apple, any place you get podcasts.